Welcome to Vigilant News, everybody. This is Justin from Stillness in the Storm, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Delarme from Underground Newswire. Ryan, how's it going?
It's going good. Always a pleasure to be here.
We have another update for you about the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Today is day 6. The court picked back up again today, so we got some things to report. And before we do, as usual, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't already done so, go into the link of this video in the description and find the Stillness in the Storm link for the donate page, stillnessinthestorm.com/donate. You can use that to support our work. You can also support us by purchasing one of our products from the sponsors in the video. And also make sure to check in the link in the description for the service I'm offering people. There is a limit on the amount of funding that's going to be available. So I can actually get people COVID relief money from the government that can help your business, but these programs are ending this month. So you have a little bit of time to apply and get the funds access to you so you can help create a flourishing business. I really want to help you do that. So go ahead and get in touch with me. Check the description for my email. I'll also give you my email now, which is justin@remelo.business. That's justin@remelo.business. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So what do you got for us today, Ryan?
Well, we've now entered the second week of the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. Last week, we heard from the first accuser, who went by the name Jane, Epstein's former pilot, a former housekeeper at Epstein and Maxwell's Palm Beach estate, and a former Palm Beach crime scene manager. We left off last week with the former crime scene manager, now retired, and he had taken the stand, and they even rolled in Epstein's massage table. So that's where we left off. This morning, we saw a woman going by the pseudonym Kate take the stand after Judge Allison Nathan instructed jurors that she was not in any way a victim of any of the crimes charged in the indictment. So, I mean, that's kind of the judge showing her bias again, political bias. The witness claimed that she was above the age of consent when she met Maxwell and Epstein. Because of her age, prosecutors will not be allowed to ask her any questions about the details of any of the sexual conduct mentioned between Kate and Maxwell. So they can talk about it. I mean, they can like mention that it happened. They just can't go into the finer details of what that entailed.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So Kate testified that she'd met Maxwell in the early 1990s when she was 17 years old. She went on to describe a time when she was led up to the massage room in Maxwell's London townhouse. Most of these have been at Epstein's estates, various estates. This one actually took place at Ghislaine Maxwell's London townhouse.
Oh, okay.
Kate said that Maxwell would tell her to have a good time and then open the door to a massage room, revealing a naked Epstein.
Wow.
After the massage, which included sex acts, Maxwell told Kate she was such a good girl and that she was so happy that she was able to come. She sounded really pleased, Kate added. The witness testified that Ghislaine spoke about friendships with various celebrities, including Prince Andrew and former President Donald Trump. Assistant U.S. Attorney Laura Pomerantz asked the witness about Maxwell's social circle, to which Kate responded that the disgraced socialite seemed to know everybody. She was friends with Prince Andrew, etc. Sometimes famous names would just come up in conversation or when she was talking to people on the phone with me present. While down in Palm Beach, Maxwell and Epstein had the witness, Kate, dress up like a schoolgirl and requested that she serve them tea while in costume. Kate claimed that a pleated skirt, white socks, and shirt were laid out for her on the bed when she first arrived to the mansion. This is Palm Beach in the early 1990s. She said, "I thought it would be fun for you to take Jeffrey his tea in this outfit," Maxwell said when Kate asked about why this was laid out in her bed. Maxwell then gave her a tray, which she took to Epstein, who then engaged in sex acts with her near the pool, she testified. Maxwell even tried to get Kate to recruit others to give the late pedophile oral sex, telling her he liked cute, young, pretty girls like you. She asked me if I knew anybody to come give Jeffrey a blowjob because it was a lot for her to do. Wow. Which I guess is kind of like a cover for like maybe we need gals to do it to other people, or maybe just Jeffrey Epstein required a lot of blowjobs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Of course, they can't ask her any more details about it because she was of legal consent. The witness, now 44, said the duo promised to help her budding music career, and this is what started the whole thing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding her first impressions of Maxwell, Kate said, "She seemed very exciting, and she seemed like everything I wanted to be. I thought she was going to be my friend." And then she began abusing cocaine and sleeping pills as a direct result of the things that she had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to admit what had happened to me, and that's the last of her and the prosecution talking. So next phase of the trial saw the defense attacking the girl's credibility. Maxwell's attorney, Bobby Sternheim, grilled the witness, raising the fact that she's made numerous public statements in the past using her real name, but is now testifying anonymously. Sternheim also raised that Kate is represented by an attorney who has once profited off of an Epstein case and has written a book about the accusations leveled against the late pedophile. The next witness to take the stand is a JP Morgan director, Patrick McHugh, who was questioned about wire transfers to Ghislaine Maxwell from accounts belonging to Jeffrey Epstein. One transaction on October 19th, 1999, for instance, showed that $18.3 million were wired to Maxwell's Bear Stearns account. Another $5 million was funneled to Maxwell in 2002. After McHugh, we saw FBI Special Agent Kelly McGuire, who testified back in 2019 after the raid on Jeffrey Epstein's Upper East Side mansion. So this person was brought back. Federal agents and the NYPD officers raided the home around the time of Epstein's July 2019 sex trafficking arrest and said they found hundreds of images of nude underage girls stashed inside a safe. Which I remember when this happened. Mm-hmm. It was after he was arrested, and it was a big deal, but it was before he died, and the feds raided his New York mansion, and there was pictures that I think around that time they found the infamous picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress.
Right. Yeah.
Among other things. So the last witness of the day was an FBI analyst, Kimberly Meter, who testified about certain CDs discovered in Epstein's safe, which apparently contained image of Epstein and Maxwell together, was the quote. We don't know if this is together in sex acts with young girls or if it was just images of them together. That has yet to be seen, because immediately after that, the judge called it quits for the day. Like, as soon as this person took the stand and started talking, they stopped for the day.
They stopped for the day, okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, testimony resumes tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. and we'll be following it and doing a subsequent video like we are right now.
Excellent, Ryan. Well, thanks for the update.
Yeah, no problem.
You know, I was thinking about two things that came to mind. First, and I need to research the legality behind this, but I'm not so sure what the predicate is for preventing, what was her name? Kate, the girl who was 17 at the time?
Yeah, she's going by the pseudonym Kate. She's now 44, former actress, just like the first accuser.
Yeah, so I don't know what the basis for not being able to ask. I suppose it's something to the effect of, well, she's 17, which means it's a private matter between her and Epstein. And unless she wants to divulge those secrets, she doesn't have to. Perhaps there's some type of gag order in place or a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not really sure. I'd imagine, given the prominence of Epstein, that he took any and all precautions to make sure that, you know, if anything leaked, that he could rein somebody in if they decided to go to the press or something like that. So that's interesting. One thing I also think is interesting too is that what Kate, the girl going by the pseudonym Kate, said, that she admired Ghislaine Maxwell, that she, you know, kind of wanted to be her in a lot of ways, which I thought was very interesting with respect to grooming, because girls and women in particular are the kind of like white matter of society, and men are the gray matter. So what I'm getting at here is that they like to form connections. They're kind of like psychologically hardwired for this type of thing. So when you as a woman see another woman in a social circle, and if that woman is higher in prominence in your mind, you're going to naturally kind of feel a little admiration. Now, there's various responses, so it's not uniform, but the point I'm getting at here is that you're taking a girl who's 16, 17, she's trying to get into the music career, she's trying to hobnob with some of these higher ups. This woman, Ghislaine, comes and basically gives her a pathway to do that. And now she's like willing to do all sorts of unsavory things to climb a little higher up the career ladder. Now, that model I just described is so prominent all over our society, where Hollywood's probably one of the most glaring examples. How many young girls in the peak of their fertility at the 15 to 17 to 20 age go to Hollywood and do all sorts of unsavory things trying to climb up and get prominence? So it works. It's an effective model. And the fact that Epstein used it and Ghislaine Maxwell used it suggests, in my mind, at the very least, they had been to stumble upon a very effective model, or that perhaps they were trained and taught how to manipulate people. I think that's probably what happened. I have no doubt, given the fact that Ghislaine's father, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a Mossad asset. I am sure he was taught how to do all these things. And in our society and civilization period, the idea of using sex and women and things of this sort to manipulate people is a standard feature of our society. I mean, why is it that, like in shows like Mad Men, I believe it's in the show Mad Men, I've heard, I haven't actually seen it myself, but that they use, parties and strippers and all sorts of things to warm up business people so that they can be coaxed into doing things. So we're getting a really unique opportunity to see underneath this carpet that has effectively been hidden for most of human history. How does the elite manipulation train work? And I think the big thing that I got out of what you were telling us today is that we're going to have this idea get exposed in a grand way. It's been hidden for a long period of time, which means it's hard for normal people to wrap their head around how this is even possible. If you can't conceive of it, then you can't acknowledge its existence. It's kind of the way it works psychologically. So we're getting an opportunity now to have all those elements exposed. And that means the much bigger, darker, nastier side of the story, which may come out in this trial, but it might take longer. That is going to be a lot easier for people to receive. So that's good news, I think.
And don't forget, Ghislaine Maxwell is a victim here.
Yes.
So,
yeah, right. Yeah, supposedly. Sarcasm, everybody.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it would be like being that defense attorney?
Yeah, I know.
No soul. Like whatever little scrapings were left of your soul are gone at that point.
I know it. Yeah. I mean, well, look at what happened with the Rittenhouse prosecutor. That guy was willing to lie through his teeth in court. So how many, there's another situation, if I can just ramble on here for a second. Mm-hmm. We have a court system that tells people when you're in school and all these other things, well, justice is blind. We're always making sure we're taking the steps necessary to prevent corruption and unfairness and things of this sort. Then you look at the Rittenhouse trial and you see that clearly this prosecutor was used to getting his way, fudging things, making up evidence, not following proper procedure, not following basic aspects of the spirit of true law. So that, in my mind, says that he didn't just decide to do this in the middle of the Rittenhouse trial. This is something he'd been trained to do. He was a professional swindler, basically, at a legal level. So we're seeing all these things getting revealed. And although it's not apparent, you look at the surface and you're like, oh, well, it's just this woman and she helped this billionaire get blowjobs. What's that have to do with anything? It has a lot to do with everything, because we're getting a window into the seedier side of our society. That is the place where all of the things that affect us happen. What do you think these billionaires do when they go and have these big giant meetings on, islands and stuff like that? They're engaging in activity that if we as a people could understand and grapple with, then we could defend against. And again, we're getting that bridge between this darker world and this world that we're actually living in now, the more, commonplace world. That bridge is starting to be formed. And once that bridge is fully formed and that information can flow, it's going to destroy both of them and renew in a lot of ways. So we're going to finally have the wool pulled away from our eyes, and this fantasy world we've been living in stripped away, which is going to be jarring for people, but it's also exactly what we need to finally put an end to these things for once and for all. So,
rip off that Band-Aid, right?
Exactly. So, fascinating. All right. Well, any other nuggets or commentary?
I was going to say it's right now with, establishment Democrats on all sides of this, the prosecution, the defense, and the judge herself, who is very close to Obama. it's hard to imagine that anything particularly eventful will unfold, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. It's still just the second week out of 6. They seem like small potatoes, but we have no idea what's coming down the pipe for the rest of this trial. And even if it is a dud, that's gonna, whip up people into a frenzy, and they're gonna demand truth, and justice for this. And there could be other lawsuits on the back burner. We already know that Virginia Roberts has a lawsuit against Prince Andrew, which is kind of a big deal. So we'll see where that goes. And yeah, we'll just keep reporting on this day by day.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Ryan, for your update. We'll go ahead and do another one tomorrow. And I also want to let everybody know 2 things. First, we have a video we've been working on, investigative journalism piece, that we're going to be releasing most likely tomorrow, or it could be Wednesday. So keep your eye out for that. It's going to be really cool. And we also are going to be doing a live stream, a big stream on Thursday, and we have a special guest. You guys are definitely going to want to hear this. He's got a lot of amazing information about how to safely deal with the health issues.
Especially if you have friends and family who have taken the jab and maybe the second jab and some of the boosters. I think you'll want to tune into this because we offer some insights on how you can help counteract some of the negative effects from that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So keep an eye open for that. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already done so, please sign up for Subscribestar. Find a link in the description. For as little as $3 a month, you can help support this channel. And we also take one-time donations. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. And with that, I'll see you on the flip side. Take care.